Hey YouTube, Jeremy here with Simple Little Life, and a Happy New Year to you. It is January 4th, and I'm going to make a little video today. I'm going to start doing some more videos that I haven't done yet on preparedness. I consider myself a prepper, but I would like to caveat that with my mindset behind prepping. I think there's a major flaw in prepping community, and I think that is this overemphasis on gear and things like mass food storage and you watch the doomsday preppers and that type of thing. When you see that stuff happening, this guy's got 10 years worth of food and 400 guns, but he weighs 350 pounds and probably couldn't even run a mile. I think that guy's got a flawed view of what it means to be prepared for a bad situation. My number one most important thing, I think, as a prepper is physical conditioning. I think you need to be healthy, fit, and even strong. You need to be to the point where you can do work, heavy work, and not pay for it later. If you have to move heavy logs or whatever to build a shelter, do that and have no ill effect. Like this is just normally, if you're always lifting stuff and exercising and working out, it's going to be no extra task and stress on your body than if you're just a couch potato who buys, a whack of canned goods every time you go to the grocery store. And then the second thing that I think is very important, these would be the two most important things in my prepping philosophy, and the second one is skill set. The more skill you have with the tool, the fewer tools you need. If you learn to use a certain tool multiple ways and you can use it effectively, like really well, you don't have to rely on so many gimmicks and other things, and ultimately that's what's going to be a big difference in a bad situation. Your car breaks down the side of the road and the nearest house was 2 miles away. It's wintertime, it's freezing cold, and your wife and kids are in there and your vehicle won't run. Well, if you're in physically good shape, you could run that 2 miles really quick to get some help, and you're good to go. I mean, there's people there's a lot of people that struggle running 2 miles, and the quicker you can get there and back, the quicker you can help your family out. And secondly, if you've got basic multi-tools and stuff like this, but you've got skill set, how to fix things, how to repair things, you can get yourself out of pinch that way as well, rather than just having gizmos for the sake of gizmos. And I get it, it's fun, it's cool to have a lot of stuff, but I think there's a lot of people that have this poor conception that, hey, my physical health doesn't really matter. I can be overweight as long as I've got a crap load of canned goods and some awesome tools and gadgets, I'm set. And I don't think that is true. I think if you're I don't know, that's just my take on it. You may disagree, but I think it's underlooked, that aspect of it. So anyways, I'm going to show you this little bag that I carry, a bit of an EDC bag, not a get-home bag, not a major emergency bag, but just a little kit that I carry. I've used most of the stuff in there, and I like to have it, so I figured I'd share with you. Stay tuned. This kit I'll usually put in my other kits as well, and all this stuff will basically be entirely redundant to what I already have in the kits. Like my hunting bag, I've got a get-home bag and other survival bags. This goes in it, but those things are entirely complete without this, so it's not like this is part of a system. This is just a redundancy. And then also, like, I used to carpool to work, and rather than carrying a big get-home bag or all kinds of crap with me, I could just throw this in my lunch bag and nobody ever knew I had it, but at least it had a few things that could help you out in a bad situation. So this is the Maxpedition Pocket Organizer, I believe it's called. I think that's the smallest one they make, and I'll just kind of run you through it real quickly. On the front here, in this little pocket, I have 10 feet of duct tape. Duct tape's useful, everybody knows that. In the back, I've looped through this molly webbing, some zip ties. I think I got 7 there, 6, 7. And one thing I will quickly say is that not all zip ties are created equal, especially when you get into cold climates. I bought some, and I thought they were great, and I went to use them, and they would not work in minus 20 weather. But these things, minus 30 Celsius, they remain malleable, they're flexible, and they won't break on you, and a whack load of strength. So when you're buying zip ties, spend a little bit extra money and buy good quality ones, because there's a big difference in zip ties available out there. And we open the bag up, and just go over this stuff real quickly. Left to right, I've got 4 packages of this stuff called Wound Seal, and it's a clotting agent. This stuff works fantastic. I used it on a pretty bad gash I had once, and I maybe used a quarter of one packet, and it stopped the bleeding like now. So with 4 of these little packages, you could control bleeding on a fairly large wound or laceration, and then when you see it takes very little real estate in your pack, I think it's definitely worth keeping. This would be the most serious trauma treatment that I have in this bag. I carry just a pen, Papermate, whatever pen you like. With that pen, I like to keep a notepad in here. I don't carry a notepad as part of my EDC, but I still like to have one with me. If you're in a fender bender, you could just, use it to exchange information. You use it for starting fires or leaving a note. Say if your car broke down, you're headed for help, you can leave a note which direction you're headed to affect your own rescue better. 2 AA batteries, AAAs. Those go with my AAA flashlight here. This is the Streamlight Micro Stream. I like this light because it's a single AAA, easy to find those batteries, small, it's bright, and then with the 2 spare batteries, I've got quite a bit of light here. The one thing I like about this is the design, the clip design here. It's got your regular pocket clips, you can carry it, but then it doubles back on itself, and you can clip this to a brim of a hat, a baseball cap, and it can function as a headlamp, which I find quite useful. I've actually used this once in a roadside repair, and it served me well. I have a little mini crescent wrench. If you got to tighten up a hose clamp or maybe adjust your headlights or some minor repair, this could come in handy. I know it's not big. Even you could use this to crack open an oxygen bottle. If you had that in your first aid kit or whatever. I've got a fairly decent first aid training and I'm licensed to administer oxygen. I don't have an oxygen wrench with me, but this could work in a pinch. And then I keep this Eaton tool by CRKT. This is something that's there right now because there's room for it. I don't know how valuable this is to the kit, but it's got a few wrenches there. Got a little pry thing here and screwdriver and bottle opener and of course a spork. I guess it's handy. If I find something better to take its place, it'll probably leave. Then in here I keep a little container of dryer lint, handy to start fires. Between that and the note paper, you should have enough tinder there to get wood to start. And then along the fire lines we've got a Bic lighter. Cheap, reliable, and they work good. And under that we keep just 2 band-aids and 1 antiseptic towelette. Again, this isn't for major trauma, but if you get cut somewhere, it's nice to just be like, oh, I can fix that up, right? Rather than not having it, or these wouldn't last but a day in your pocket. They'd kind of get destroyed, so nice to keep them in a kit like this where you have those small items available. And then over here we have a Gerber mini paraframe knife. I'm really not a Gerber fan. This came with another knife. I didn't even like the other knife, but I threw this one here because of its size. It's nice and small. I've never used it, so the blade is sharp. Certainly wouldn't be an EDC knife for me, but a secondary blade, nice to have. Even if you had a razor blade, it could come in really handy. And then in this pocket I keep a cotton bandana. And the one thing I thought I had in here that I just realized I don't is a drum liner. Obviously handy for tons of different survival uses, even as simple as changing a tire in the rain. You could throw it over yourself as a makeshift poncho and keep dry. So anyways, there's just a quick look at a small piece of kit, but just to give you an idea, there's a lot of videos on a lot of cool things guys are doing with these pocket organizers. Some of them are just packed to the gills, and I wanted something different with this, something that's still going to be fairly useful to me, but it's by no means an all-inclusive kit that, oh yes, I can take on the wild with this. But just thought I'd share this with you. Leave your comments what you think is maybe not worth keeping, or if there's any small tools. Like, I'm not saying let's fill this thing up, but if you've got a few little tools that I haven't mentioned here that you think would be quite useful, by all means I'd love to hear about them. So thanks for watching the video guys. Cheers.